So I was thinking about this the other day, and I was thinking, what are the objects in my life that I would be absolutely gutted to lose? It, and it's really interesting because a lot of them are things like little knickknacks or maybe a book, um, something that holds like a real feeling, you know. Um,
For years, I was caught up in my job, my marriage, and keeping everyone else afloat. I forgot what made me me. Then I picked up a colored pencil and remembered how much I used to love drawing. That moment showed me that creativity could be a portal freeing up space in my mind, space that wasn't filled with stress or worry. And in that space came a reset. I started to build new habits and little rituals. I realised I mattered too. I began creating time for myself, putting myself first instead of always last. That was the start of my creative comeback, and bit by bit, life lit up again. That's what living in full colour really is, having the courage to put yourself back in the picture, to feel brighter, braver and more alive. And that's what this podcast is here for, to help you find your spark and live in full colour too.
I had a nativity scene that I made. This is a very sad story. Just warning you, it's not very sad. I had a nativity scene that I made when my first son was born, and I bought a kit and I made this nativity scene, and we brought it out every year. And 2 years ago, bearing in mind my son is now 26, he was 24 then, it disappeared along with the fake Christmas tree. And my eldest son is a bit of he likes things to be clean and tidy. And he'd got rid of a load of stuff. He does this every now and again. We get a skip every now and again, and he'll just go crazy. And I'm like, where's this and where's that? Oh, anyway, he threw out, he obviously didn't do it on purpose, but he was like, yeah, well, this will go, this will go, this will go. And it was just in a bag. And honestly, I was gutted because it held so many memories. And he was very remorseful, obviously, very sorry. But it held so many memories because it was something that I had made. It was a very personal thing. I had made it. And yeah, it's gone. It's probably my little bit of a lesson for me to keep things in better places and make sure I look after them. But there's something else. So I'm sitting here kind of thinking, I haven't made up a list yet. I'm just like, I thought I'd just talk about this and then see what comes up. But I've got a watercolor painting that came from an auction back in, gosh, it must have been the 70s. Slippy, you're breathing very loudly. I think it must have been in the 70s or 80s, and I think it was Swinton Castle this auction came from. And it's a watercolor painting of a horse. It's absolutely beautiful. And I don't have it up anywhere because we took all of the paintings down when I redecorated, and they haven't gone back up again. It's actually in a corner of the room over there. I would be gutted if that went. I really would, because I've known it all my life. It was always up at my mum and dad's house. And funnily enough, I must have been about, God, how old was I? I was at school. So I must have been about 13, I think, 13 maybe. And I did a copy of this painting, which I thought was amazing. And I gave it to my mum and dad and swapped it. So I took the original and they got the copy. My dad was really not happy. But I'd be gutted if I lost that, because that has come through my childhood. I remember it as a child, and yeah, it's a really lovely painting. I've got another painting actually that I got for my 21st. It's by an artist called Tony Brummel Smith, and it's beautiful. It needs reframing. and I need to get it put up somewhere. But again, you know, I think art means a lot to me, you know, especially these ones that I've had for a long time. And then things like mugs, definitely mugs. So I have a cupboard, 3 cupboards in fact, that have got glass doors that are full of Emma Bridgewater mugs. And I call it my made it cupboard because it's another weird story. When I was married, now I'm going to caveat this with, realistically, I could have done anything I wanted to do. But because of the person I was at the end of my marriage, and because of obviously how my husband's behaviour was, I didn't feel like I could actually, I'm stuttering now, I didn't feel like I could actually do anything. But of course, anybody can do anything they want to do. So when I was married, the mugs that we had were mugs that that David picked up from, that people had chucked out basically. So I didn't have any nice mugs apart from the ones that we got as a wedding present, which were all kind of chipped at that point. So I didn't have any nice mugs at all. They were all like a Kit Kat mug, or a you know, a mug with a funny saying on it, you know, just a they weren't nice mugs. And literally as soon as he left 2017, as soon as he left, I did a couple of things. I went on to Pets for Homes and looked for another dog, because I wasn't allowed a dog. And as soon as he left, I was like, I'm getting another dog. And that's who Slipper is. I found the biggest dog I possibly could. It was somebody who had and I would be utterly lost without Slipper. She's the most, I mean, I don't know whether you can see her, she's down there. And then I've got this Vinny there, and I've got Dora there, and then Nellie's in the other room. But yeah, as soon as he left, I was literally onto Pets for Homes, which isn't the best place to look for dogs, but anyway, and I'd already got, so anybody who's like, oh, you should get rescue, Bonny, absolutely. Rescue all the way. I'd already got a rescue dog. What a fecking nightmare that was. It's just like, he was the loveliest dog, but the worst dog. Oh my God, honestly, yeah. And what, that was so, we had so many problems with poor old Zach. And you've got to be, in the UK anyway, you have to fit all of these different criteria to get a rescue dog. And anyway, so yeah, I found Slipper, the biggest puppy, but they weren't actually even born then. They were just like, you know, we've got these puppies, they're going to be born, blah blah blah. And yeah, so that's one of the things that I did. I put my name down for Slipper, and then I started buying mugs, and Emma Bridgewater mugs, you know, those gorgeous designs. And I've literally filled 3 cupboards full. My daughter's like, what? We can't fit any more in. And I was like, yeah, we're getting more. And that's my made it cupboard. That is the cupboard that shows that I made it through a really shitty time, and that, you know, I can have nice things. So that if those mugs went, I would be really sad. And then what else? What else would I be really? I'd be really sad if some of the jewellery that I've got, not all of it, but there's some pieces that I'm like, yeah, so this piece here, I would be gutted if I lost this. This is like a, it's called an ouroboros. So it's the snake eating its tail. And it's very simple, but I absolutely love it. I absolutely love this necklace. I try to wear it most of the time. I really like it. And then I also have this one, which I'd be also gutted if I lost. This is my little manifestation dial. My sons would be like, ugh. So this is green tourmaline, clear quartz, smoky quartz, and sunstone. And it's white gold, and it's like precious, precious, precious. And then I've got, yeah, I like all my jewellery really. I'd be gutted. Like these, like I've got my black tourmaline here. This is my little armour wrist. This stops any negativity coming through, or tries to. I would be gutted. I would be gutted. You know, my rings as well. I really like my rings. And then there's items of clothing as well that I find it very difficult to throw stuff out, which my eldest son will attest to. You know, there are certain things and I'm like, oh no, we can't throw that out. It's like all of my little stubs of pencils, and I don't use them. They get to about that point and then I don't really use them anymore. But I'd be, you know, I couldn't throw them out. I couldn't throw them out. I mean, I probably need to give them, the majority of them, away, but I couldn't throw them out. And then I've got all things like little like knick-knacky things. And like my son's like, well, you haven't used these for ages, so we'll just throw them out. And I was like, no, that's not how things work. It's like with books as well. I love books. And again, I probably should send them to a charity shop or something like that, but they just accumulate, and I just have loads of them. I've got loads of them up there, and yeah, I just like things. I like things. I think that's what it. And notebooks as well. You know, I don't think I could ever throw one of my notebooks away, particularly my journals. So that I've got a couple of journals that I've got on the go. This is my downstairs journal. And you know, I'll just sort of write stuff in here, and then you know, not necessarily to look back on, but it's just interesting because every day is a different day, isn't it? You know, you know, I've got this. I've got here the promises for myself for 2026, and then a reminder of what I've done in 2025, and yeah, it's yeah. I think there's a lot of things, but mostly it's things that I've had throughout my childhood that I wouldn't want to lose, and I would be really, really sad if I did lose those. My mugs, definitely my mugs. I have my favourite mug is got this design on it, which I really like. You know, and yeah, and my pencils as well, and my drawings. I wouldn't ever want. I mean, I've got a lot of drawings in my drawers, in my plan chest, and I wouldn't. I'm always sad when a drawing goes, I have to say. I always am really, really sad when a drawing goes. But yeah, I think it's more things that I've kind of accumulated and brought through my childhood, or things that I've bought for me. So when I was talking about my jewellery, these are mine. This as well, actually. This is my, I've got Moldavite, Herkimer diamond, and Libyan desert glass here. This is from a shop called Awakening. Is it called Awakening? And I've got a few pieces from her. And I'd be really gutted if I kind of mislaid those. But there's certain elements of jewellery that I wear all of the time. Definitely would be sad if I lost those. Yeah, not enormous things, you know. And they're more things that have got like a bit of a sentimental value to them. You know, the reasons why I particularly bought something for me. And I think that's it. It's more sentimental than it costing, you know, a lot of money. It's more about that, really. Yeah.
Enough waffling from me. Here's to living in full colour.